Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside me today. Today we're talking stocking stuffers as we approach the holiday season, buying gifts for that archer or outdoorsman or lady in your life. So we'll start right off here with the Pine Ridge Archery Quickstand, which at its price point is the most modular bow stand that you can have on the market. Now, I do like, if you follow the channel, bow stands that go off of the stabilizer bushing, like the Magnus bow pod. However, they're not in production anymore, and more importantly, they're not legal to be used in actual tournaments where you're shooting indoors or on the 3D course, as they're kind of like extra counterbalancing. So you have to use a stand like this Quickstand here. Now, the beauty of the Pine Ridge is that with its opening and closing jaws as they slide, as well as the legs extending, you can get this to fit nearly any bow style on the market. I've used this Quickstand on solid limb bows, split limb bows, wide limb pockets, narrow limb pockets, different limb deflections, turns if it's a big D-shaped swoop or very parallel. It has fit them all, and it's really modular and really allows me to take this easily out and about on the range or at the indoor course. A handy feature of it as well is that when you do take it off the bow, it easily stores in most modern day quivers. This is just a standard 3-tube quiver, but because of the legs of the Quickstand, I can slide it here into the outside pouch, and this can walk around with me around the 3D course or at the indoor range, going to and from the target butts, and it won't fall out. When I need it, simply slides out, clip it back onto my limb, and so on and so forth. It has done this motion thousands of times with me as I've taken it around shooting. Sticking with Pine Ridge, after the Quickstand, I strongly recommend, if you don't own the actual Archer's Allen set, the yellow ones, by Pine Ridge, you definitely pick them up. Especially for the very small price point, they are well worth the investment. And I know you're saying, well, I can go down to my local hardware store, big box store, and pick up a standard set or even the 3-pack for about the same cost. And that is true. However, the Archer's Allen set goes all the way down to the sizes you need to work on your releases, which is something that people don't think about until they break and they need one of these. Going all the way down to a .050, that is the smallest Allen key that you're ever going to need on any style of rest or release spring. And that is a huge benefit. Whether you're in the field or at home in your shop, you can actually fix it and work on stuff effectively and not try to have to fudge it using the store-bought from your local Home Depot or Lowe's. Also, speaking of cheap tools worth having, go down to your local Harbor Freight or similar style store and pick up a whole bunch of these tiny little side cutters, and here are some needle nose pliers, and here's some flat with no teeth. I picked these up for less than $2 or about $2 per, and they are just invaluable for all those little things that you need to do with your bowstring, putting on speed knocks, removing kisser buttons, so on and so forth. And particularly these little side cutters. I don't like, when it comes to cutting off peeps and D-loops, I don't like using a knife or a razor blade. Using a knife or a razor blade, you are just one slip away from going completely through the string or cable, and now you're really up the creek without a paddle. Using side cutters like this, I can get right onto a D-loop knot, clip it, and it just unravels itself. Same thing's true with the peep that's served in. I just need to clip one side and it unravels itself. It works out really well, and I'm never in danger of actually damaging my bowstring. Using needle nose pliers, something really tiny and a small head profile, you can actually take a chainsaw file and you can mark grooves up in here further up the head, and you can actually get the Easton D-loop plier at a fraction of the cost. Just make sure you don't have any burrs around the edges. Take a little sandpaper to it. For the price point and how much I use these, you'd think they would probably cost more, but they don't, and they are well worth a little investment, a little drive down to your cheap hardware store. Now, something you may or may not need depending on how your eyesight is. As you can see, I do need corrective lenses, but I also have double vision really badly. And so when I actually look at my sight ring with both eyes open, it actually turns into two sight rings into an infinity or a figure 8 shape. So I need to use a blinder in order to shoot with both eyes open. Now, for hunting, I don't mind if I close my left eye just for that one shot, because I don't have to worry about the fatigue or the lighting or anything, just for that one shot. But when I'm shooting in a 3D setting, or if I'm shooting on the indoor range, I want to have a blinder on, just like this. Now, as you can see here, this would be either for my left eye or my right eye, depending if you are a right-handed archer, you need to block off your left eye, or your right eye if you are a left-handed archer. Now, if I wasn't wearing corrective lenses, I could take these off here, slide this up a little bit more. It will even flip up and out of the way. But with my glasses on, I do have to take them off before I can flip it. This is made by Gunstar, and I will link everything in the description below. You can find this over at the Lancaster Archery website. They make them in black, they make them ambidextrous, they make them in clear, but you can use this to get that double vision out of your shooting. And it's just great to have at the local range, to have at the actual tournaments, or just for shooting in the backyard when you don't want to be constantly closing your eye in order to get that good target practice. Sticking with that range time, another great thing to have at your range, but also at home, is a release pouch. Now, this might seem silly if you are one that always wears a wrist strap style release, because you never need to let go of your release and put it into a pouch instead of shoving it into a pocket, either in your coat or your pants. But even when I'm wearing a wrist strap style release, I still have this on my quiver belt because of how useful it is. On the inside, there are multiple pockets. I can put my Allen keys, my Archer's Allen set, right in the back. My release, if I want to carry a backup handheld style release, I have a zippered pocket here on the back in which I keep target pins. If I'm going to a local indoor course and they may or may not have pins, I like to keep them here in the back. It has the elastic loops on the sides, that way I can put Sharpies and pens for keeping score and marking targets. And then it even has the cinch stop strap, so that way you can put your release or anything else special inside of it, cinch it up, and nothing is going to fall out of the top. It actually is a great little thing because you'll find that you'll keep a lot more than just your release in here. It's super lightweight. This one's made by Fivix, obviously for Lancaster Archery with their logo on the front, but there are a lot of different manufacturers that make these. They're just really easy and cheap and convenient to have on your quiver belt, and particularly if you shoot a handheld style release, you just drop it right in there and you just walk about the course. But even if you wear a wrist strap style, I strongly recommend you pick one of these up to stuff your stockings this winter. Now, I don't think any archery shop is complete, whether it's a DIY or the professional setting, without some sort of a grain scale. Now, I don't think you have to go super expensive, and this one certainly is not. This is a 550 gram, which I don't even know what that relates to in grains, but it's definitely over 1,000, I think. Doesn't matter. I'm not shooting anything over 550 grains anyway. So having a little scale like this, they're usually less than 30 bucks. They're really nice and simple and clean. You can measure, I don't remember what this field point weighed, or I wonder what the grain variance is between these arrows. It's a real nice, easy, cheap pickup. The batteries, if you get one that runs on AAA instead of the little CR32 watch style batteries, they can last forever. You can even get rechargeables for them. I use mine in the shop all the time to measure out a whole litany of different things, not just arrows and components. It's a real easy and cheap addition into your Christmas list this winter. So this last one's a little bit of an oddball for me, but I found that it's been worth it, particularly in this full 8-ounce jar. This is York's Wax Gun Armor in the buttercream, if you will. And this stuff is fantastic for bowstrings, as well as what it's actually to be used for, which is gun armor, of course, using it on metal components. It has the same consistency, if you will, of Canuba or paraffin and beeswax, kind of a blend of everything together. I'll link their website down below, and you can get in contact with them if you wish and you're interested in buying this thing. They sent this out to me, and I was kind of skeptical over the summer when I was playing with it and putting it on my bowstrings, but I found that it's the only bowstring wax that works with the new Bloodline fibers, and I use Bloodline Vec 99, and that's becoming more and more common as people are using it. This is the only stuff I can get that actually sticks and actually works well with the Bloodline compared to other modern fiber bowstring waxes. So now I've been putting it on everything. I've been using it to seal up leather. I've been using it to seal up the ends of rusty bolts. It's almost better than Ballistol, which is my usual favorite stuff, but it has a much better odor, of course, to it, being a more natural product, and of course, still made in the USA, real small companies, small batches. It works out really well. They're not even paying me to say that. It's just really good stuff. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions about any of the products that I showed, or you have any other ideas for that archer or outdoorsman or outdoorswoman in your life, please do drop a comment down below. Or if you're interested in sending me a message directly, you can hit me up on Facebook and Instagram, Average Jack Archery, or in an email, averagejackarchery@gmail.com. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation. Enjoy the holiday season, and we'll get to see you next time.